we're just going to recreate these dice for this one. You could trace a martini glass or build a martini glass or any other shape you want back here, similar to how we did with the revolver. But this is the main thing that I'm wanting you to show you how to do, so you don't have to draw each individual little box. Show you a quicker and easier way to recreate a cube. You can do the same thing with cylinders and stuff. They're a little bit more tricky. But let's go ahead and show you how it works. I just created a new file, blank. This one is 12 by 12 inches. If you hit Control R, it will bring up your rulers, or you can go View, Rulers, Show Rulers. And then when you right click on it, you can change it from pixels, points, picas, feet, inches, whatever measurements you want. For this one, we want it in points. And the reason why is one of the tools we're going to use only measures in points. So I'm just going to start by grabbing the rectangle tool, whatever, clicking, and I've already got it set up, but you can change this to anything you want and make yourself a square. I'm going to go ahead and leave this at 250 points. Click OK. I am going to make sure that I remove the stroke, and I'm going to select kind of a medium toned color. Doesn't matter if it's blue, red, green, yellow, pink, but you want a medium value in here, not too dark. And click OK, and now you've got your square of medium value with no stroke. It's very important that you do not have a stroke on there. It'll add a whole bunch of lines when we do this next phase, and it just makes it a lot more difficult to remove. I'm just going to go ahead and center this up real quick. You don't have to, but my OCD wants me to work in the center. Once you get your square set up, you come up to Effects, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. Now, first off, you want to change this to whatever your square size is. You want to match that here, so we go 250. Now, as you can see, I have a cube on the screen. You can twist to rotate it however you want, but for this effect, keep in mind that you want to make sure that you have 3 distinct color differences at least. When you're doing this with a cylinder, it gets a little bit more complicated, but it's the same general practice. That's right, you gotta click on this to move it. You can't twist it on there. And you get one set up however you want. I think that's a pretty cool shape for a dice. You click OK. Now, looks like I'm good to go, ready to go. Got my cube, but it is not ready. If we go over View, Outline, the plotter still sees it as a square. So, to fix that, back to Preview, select your object. As you can see, it's still a square. Object, Expand Appearance. And what that does is makes the paths follow what the image is. So now when we go View, Outline, we have a nice little cube. Looks like it's ready to go, but it's not. There's going to be a lot of double cut lines, and when you do this with a cylinder, it puts in some, as I like to call it, trash and stuff that you'll have to get rid of. But I'll show you the basic processes of doing that with a cube, and you'll do the same thing with other shapes. But remember, switch back and forth between View, Preview, and View, Outline, and that helps you see what your plotter is going to see. But working in the preview area kind of helps, especially with the colors and selecting stuff. So next you're going to select your object and come over here and get your Pathfinder tool. And you're going to find a divide. Click that. Now what that has done is it has made all of these individual shapes. they're still grouped together, so when I select, it selects the whole thing. But I could ungroup and move these out. And as you see, I've got the solid faces, all of them. We don't actually want to do that. I was just using that for demonstration purposes. So group it back up. But they're individual shapes. Now grab your magic wand tool, double click on it, and keep it pretty low. For a cube, 5 is generally good. And then select the, see, that one wasn't quite enough. There's not enough variation between this one and this one, so it's selecting them both. So come back over here, go 1, select. Now I have just this selected. And then you're going to unite. And then you're going to do that for each individual face. Same thing goes for a circle that you've turned into a cylinder. It's even more important to do this when you're doing it for a cylinder. Sometimes you have to play around with the settings on a cylinder and all. And you've, like I said, you've selected each face and hit unite. Now, with your wand tool, hold shift, select those faces again, grab your selection tool, move it out of the way. Hit view, outline, and a lot of the times you will see some kind of trash left from the 3D extrude and bevel process. Cubes are pretty straightforward. Other shapes you will notice a lot of stuff. We're pretty clean there. So you can go back to preview, move it back to the center. And it's close to done, but you're still going to have, again, if I come in here, object, ungroup, there is still a path here, and if you notice, there's still a path there as well. The plotter is going to cut both of those. So, a way I've found to mitigate that, select it all again, object, group it all, and I come over to my Pathfinder tool and I hit outline. Now, that should have ungroup, grab that. Yeah, see, now that has got it back down to one path. Object, group, view, preview. Now, as I've mentioned before, when you do the outline, a lot of the times it completely removes your fill and stroke. Sometimes it just removes your fill. Like this time it just removed the fill and I have a stroke. That is that green that I selected. I like black because it shows up a little bit more. Now I have one of my dice. For simplicity, I could just grab it with my Alt key, drag it, and then I get a copy. And now I have two of them. Or you could create a whole nother one, shaping it however you want. Just like before, you can get the divide tool. And now make sure that you have paths again. But again, you get the double cut there. This is where having the Astute Graphics dynamic sketch can really come in handy, because then you can just, careful not to, oh, I didn't go back far enough. Okay. You can come in and just remove the individual lines you want without having to worry about the double cutting and all that. If you don't have the Astute Graphics, select the whole thing, Pathfinder, divide, click on the direct select, grab the individual ones you want to delete, remove them, select it all again, outline, and then change it to the path only again. The Astute Graphics just speeds the process up. Now to get your little numbers, you just grab your ellipse tool, hold Alt so you're working out from the center, it makes it a little bit easier to see, and then drag dots out. Boom. You got one. And only do one on each face for now, just so you can get it. And you're just gonna kind of get this face to match that face. Some of them you will not be able to do that with, but get it close, and you want them all about the same size. Like this one, I can't get it perfect. I doubt I'll be able to get, actually this one will probably come out pretty good. Close. And then this one, close. But now you can come in and just rotate your selection tool. That one looks pretty good. That one actually like that. You just kind of rotate them a little bit to make them fit a little bit better. You can pinch them or squeeze them. Get them a little bit better off. That's pretty close. Too much of a circle. Sometimes it helps to come up to like a corner or something. It'll give you a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty close. Move away from the corner a little. This one just needs to rotate a little, not much. Yeah. Now, when you're resizing, make sure you hit Shift so it stays in the same constraints. I like to hit Alt as well so it works from the center out. And get them all about the same size. I like my ones to be larger. And we're making this dice like it's coming up snake eyes. Make those larger. Make this one a little bit smaller. This one just a tad larger. Rotate just a hair. Yeah, I like that better. Now you just grab them with the Alt key and position them to make your other dice. Now remember, on a dice, if the 1 is here, the 6 is going to be on the opposite side. Opposite sides of dice always equal 7. So this is 3, so I can't really put a 4 here. It wouldn't work too good. But I can put a 2. So there's that one. On this one, grab it, move it up here. And it's a little large, so I'm going to shrink it down just a little. Grab a hold of it, move it over here, grab it, pull it here, and make this one a 4. So I can't put a 3 here, but I could put a 2 or a 5. 5 would be about like so. Anywhere where it's overlapping, again, just grab handy dandy tool and erase one spot of it. There you go. Quick, easy, simple dice. Now you could put any background you wanted. You could use cylinders and build a pile of chips. You could, just like this one, put the martini glass, which is one of the projects I do with my Intro to Airbrush class. except for I don't use the plotter for it. I just use transfer paper, draw it on there, and then lightly cut so I don't cut through. But yeah, now you have cubes. To do the cylinder, it's pretty much, well, the same thing. 80, 80, okay. Go over, select a medium color, okay. Effect, 3D, bevel, extrude, and we're going to make that 150, okay. Object, expand appearance, Pathfinder, divide. Now it's all divided out. Grab your magic wand tool, select anywhere off there, grab your magic wand tool. It's got that front face, select that. Now this one's where it gets a little trickier. Double click, tolerances, we'll go 15, see where that gets us. Pretty close. Go ahead and hit the unite. Now view, outline, looks like it's ready to go, but it is not. Click off anywhere, grab your magic wand tool, select the face, select that, group it, move it. I got this, but when I go back to view, outline, you see there it's all this trash in there that would have caused issues with that cylinder. So grab your direct select, select them, delete them. Boom. View, preview. Now you have your cylinder. Keep in mind this spot right here is going to have a double cut area, and the outline tool when you're working with a cylinder doesn't always work as well, so you may have to go in, zoom in real close, and move this out of the way and delete that and put it back. Mess around with it sometimes. Going like that does work. I have not figured out exact algorithm or what that it does that causes it to not get rid of the double lines. That one looks like it may have done it just fine, because I'm only seeing that solid line in there. I'm not seeing a little thicker, but you get the basic principle of how to make 3D objects using the 3D Extrude and Bevel tool to speed that process up, so I didn't have to draw each individual face or cylinder.